a group of scientists wanted to test something. You can check, it's a common, the monkey experiment, the 5 monkeys experiment. Remember, we are talking about what? New knowledge. They took 5 monkeys. And then those 5 monkeys were locked in a cage. And in that cage, there was a ladder with bananas on top. No, monkeys like bananas. So in that cage, there was 5 monkeys, a ladder, bananas on top. There was something else also, which was there. A spray of cold water was also put inside there. So every time, monkeys like banana. So every time a monkey went up to pick that bananas to eat, then they will spray the remaining 4 monkeys with cold water. Are you seeing that? When one of them climbed there to pick the bananas to eat, the remaining 4 are sprayed with cold water. After a while, every time a monkey went up the ladder, the others will beat the one climbing. Meaning, the remaining 4 has associated the cold water with one of them climbing. Are we together? We are talking of new knowledge. Don't forget. The story continues. So if one goes there, the remaining 4 will now beat you. Why are they beating you? Because they fear the cold water. They know that if you go there, they will be sprayed with cold water. After some times, no monkey dares go up the ladder, regardless of the temptation to go and pick the bananas. So they all, mimi siendi hapo. Why? Because my colleagues will beat me, but if they don't beat me, they will be sprayed with cold water. Now, the scientists then decided to bring in one new monkey and remove. So he brings, a new entrance comes in. Are we together? They take away one, bring in a new one. Immediately the guy comes in, he has a banana. You are just sitting here and a banana iko juu. He walks in to go there and to take the bananas. The remaining one will beat him. Him has come in, he finds the bananas, he don't know what people are waiting for there. The banana iko juu, he's going to take it. After several beatings, the new member learned not to climb the ladder, even though never know why. He doesn't know why, because he has not been sprayed, but he just tried to climb, but the rest are beating him. So anajiuzulu, anaacha tu. The second monkey was substituted. The same occurred. The first monkey participated in beating the second one. The third monkey was changed and the same repeated. The fourth one was substituted until at the end of the day, what was left was a group of 5 new monkeys that, even though never received the cold showers, continue to beat each other. So anybody coming in, we beat you. Them, they never experienced the cold shower, but now they learned the beating. You go there, we beat you. You go there, we beat you. You go there, we beat you. They don't know why. What are we talking about? If it was possible to ask the monkeys why they would beat up all those who attempted to go to the ladder, I bet the answer would be, I don't know. That's how things are done around here. Yes. We don't know, but we keep on beating you. You try to do it, we beat you, though we don't know why. Albert says that two things are infinite: the universe and human stupidity. Despite endless attempts from management, despite endless attempts from the leaders, despite endless attempts from the administration, to be innovative, to be creative, to be collaborative, cold water is always poured on people. At the end of the day, what is it? Whenever someone brings anything new, whenever somebody tries to do something new, fellow employees, leaders, friends will always try to suppress, even though they don't know why. You bring a new idea, people don't want it. You come with something new, even when a new employee is brought in, give him only 3-4 months, he picks the culture. That's it. I mean, you come in as a wacha tu, tutaona, utafika nayo wapi? Tumekaa hapa sisi bana. We have been here long enough. I ask myself this question, that is there another way of doing things? Is there any better way of doing it? You know, as a result of that, we stagnate. We keep on to where we are every day. We attend seminar after seminar, but the things remain the same. Meeting after meeting, things remain the same. Lesson after lesson, things remain the same. Church after church, Sabbath after Sabbath, things remain the same. Why? Because of the cold water. Let's move on and see something here. I picked this from several writings of Mrs. White. He keep on saying, make use of every means. He also said, in Gospel Workers, page 51, he says, different methods of labor. He goes ahead to say, in Evangelism 105, he talks of new methods. In Evangelism, page 21, he says, untried methods. This one was scary to me, that do something out of the common course of things. Let's proceed. Page 105 says, no fixed rules of doing work. Huh? This is what he says, that God's workmen must be many-sided men. That is, they must have a breadth of character. They are not to be one idea men. Stereotyped in their manner of working, unable to see that their advocacy of truth must be or must vary with the class of people among whom they work and circumstances that they have to meet. He also says that as field after field is entered, New methods, new plans will spring from new circumstances. New thoughts will come with new workers who give themselves to work. As they seek the Lord for help, he will communicate with them. They will receive new plans devised by the Lord himself. So if we keep on pouring cold water, let's read very quickly the word of God. We want to read something very fast. There's a story in this. I know you know this one. From this story, then I make only 3 points and we finish today. Only, we are just reading it. I know it's a story you know, but I want to make 3 points. Elisha replied, listen to this message from the Lord. This is what the Lord says. By this time tomorrow, in the market of Samaria, 6 quarters of choice flour will cost only 1 piece of silver, and 12 quarters of barley grains will cost only 1 silver. The officer assisting the king said to the man of God that couldn't happen even if the Lord opened the windows of heaven. Shame on you. You know, I always ask this question, Pastor, that the Bible said that, try me if I will not open the windows of heaven and give you that which you have nowhere to place. So the question always asks, why windows are not doors? Why do you only open windows and not doors? But the answer, I always say that if windows are opened, you have nowhere to keep. Why do you need to open the doors? But the guy is saying, that, but Elisha replied, you will see it with your own eyes, but you will not be able to eat from it. Okay, that one, we'll talk about it next time. Now there were 4 men. This is where my center of interest is. Now there were 4 men with leprosy sitting at the entrance of the gate. And they say to one another, why should we sit here and die waiting, Pastor? Why should we just sit here and die? Why? They say to each other, we will starve if we stay here. But with the famine in the city, we will starve if we go back there. So it is a lose-lose case. You know, we always talk about win-win situation, but this is a lose-lose. So we might as well go out and surrender to the Aramean army. If they let us leave, so be it. But if they kill us, we were to die anyway. That's like, fine. Yeah. Let's go. Instead of sitting here, we are going to die. We go back, we are going to die. So let's go. If they kill us, fine. But suppose they don't kill us, then we have it. See, that's the beauty of it. Continue. So at twilight, they set out, the men had come. But when they came to the edge of the camp, no one was there. For the Lord has caused, sometimes the Lord caused things to happen. For the Lord had caused the Aramean army to hear the clatter of the speeding chariot and the galloping horses and the sounds of great army approaching. The king of Israel had hired the Hittite and the Egyptians to attack us. They cried to one another. So they panicked and ran into the night, abandoning their tents, their horses, their donkeys, and everything else as they fled for their lives. Continue. This is another point. We will come back to it when I'm making the point. When the men with leprosy arrived at the edge of the camp, they went into one of the tents, one after another, eating and drinking wine. And they carried off silver and gold and clothing and hid it. You are getting to, you are hiding enemies' things. Because you found there's nobody. So you are taking after eating, after doing everything, then you take the rest and hide them. Finally, I think this is what changes my mind about these guys. Finally, they say to each other that, guys, this is not right. This is not right. The day is a day of good news, and we aren't sharing it with anyone. If we wait until morning, some calamity will fall upon us. I think that's a good reasoning. And I like these 4 men. Look at the reasoning. They said at first that, let's stop sitting here. We sit here, we will die. We go back, we will die. So let's go. If they kill us, fine. We were to die anyway. But look at again now how they're reasoning here that, no, guys, yes, we are eating, yes, we are hiding, but this is not right. So they went back to the city and told the gatekeepers what had happened. We went out to the Marian camp, they said to one another. The horses and the donkeys were tethered, and the tents were all in order, but there wasn't a single person around. The gatekeepers shouted at the good news and in the palace. The king got out of his bed in the middle of the night and told the officers, I know what has happened. The Arameans know we are starving. So they have left their camp and have hidden the fields. They are expecting us to leave the city, and then they will attack us, take us alive as captured. You know, these are the cold waters, some of the cold waters that has passed. Somebody has put a good news, somebody has put in a good news, but yes, fear. One of his officers replied, we had better send out some scouts to check into this. Let them take 5 of the remaining horses. If something happens to them, it will be no worse than if yes. I am about to finish and make the point. Okay, let me continue and do for the sake of time. So the 2 chariots of horses were prepared, and the king sent out the scouts to see what had happened to the Aramean army. They went all the way to Jordan River, following the trail of clothing, and they told the king about it. Then the people of Samaria rushed out and plundered the Aramean camp. So it was true that 6 quarters of choice flour was sold, even though the guy said that it can't happen even if God opens the windows of heaven. But it happens here. The king appointed his officers to control the traffic at the gate, but he was knocked down, and so the words of the man of God came to pass, that you will see but you will not enjoy. Let me say point number 19, and then I leave. The king's officer had replied that couldn't happen if the Lord opened the windows of heaven. And the man of God said to him that you will see, but you will not be able to eat from it. And it was so. Sometimes some of the things that you are against, some of the cold waters, you will see them, but will not enjoy. Let me make the 3 points, and then we finish. Point number one. Your comfort zone will kill you. And your best bet is to leave it. Get out of it. Your comfort zone, pastor, will kill you. You just sit there that this is how we always do it, this is how it is always done. You will just die, I'm telling you. You will just die, I can tell you. There is death in doing nothing. Guys, your comfort zone is a death zone. God can only bless you when you move out of it. We love comfort zone. Somebody said that we fear change, but it is only through change that we grow. Mark wrote this, and he said that life is full of monsters and enemies that aren't necessarily tangible. You can't touch them, but they're enemies. They can kill our soul and lacerate our flesh without even us noticing. You may not be aware of it, but a comfort zone is a dark and a dreary place. It makes people stop fighting for their dreams. It makes people fighting for their goals. It makes people lose vision. It that makes them surrender to physical and mental complacency, even if it means death to their inspiration. Comfort zone. It's a death zone. Get out of it. Those guys complained and said that now we can't continue being here. If we continue being here, we will die. A comfort zone is an invisible enemy because it can follow you everywhere you go. It will follow you to your workplace. It will follow you to school where you are. It will follow you in your relationships. It will follow you in your family. That is not the worst thing about it. That is not. The worst part is that it's part of yourself. It's like a shadow waiting for you to drop your guard so it can take over you. It is killing you slowly, and you will not be noticing it. We go to school every day, isn't it? We have bursaries. We give bursaries every now and again. But is there a change of the new knowledge that you have acquired? It's a question you need to answer yourself. Is there a change because you have gone to school? Is there a change? Poverty is not the will of God. There is plenty in the enemy's camp. Sitting there, lamenting at the gate. Oh, we'll die, we are lepers, we have been thrown here. It will just kill you. There is food in the enemy's camp. You only need to reason out that, wait, if we sit here, we will die. If we go back, we will die. Why don't we go? If they kill us, fine. But if they don't kill us, there's plenty. Sadly, many times we are slow to receive God's favor. We think that we are waiting on Him when He is actually waiting on us. He says His ways are above our thoughts and His actions are often unpredictable. We must realize that there is no right time to do anything in life. The only time is now. Waiting around for perfect time is usually a waste of precious time. Sometimes we get confirmation from God that you go, but we fail to go. The guy said, why should we sit here waiting to die? Why should we just sit here doing nothing, not changing anything, not adjusting to the environment? Technology keep on changing, things keep on changing, but we are stuck. We will just die. We will just die. When a new technology comes in, let's jump in it. If we die anyway, even being comfortable where we were to die. But if he succeeds with it, even money which we're looking for, Major, you know, let me say this. You know the comfort zone where we are? We always think that when we politicking around, making connections and making alliances, that is when we get it. I am saying that is a comfort zone. We have been there forever. Sometimes we have been doing it year in, year out, and you've never gotten it. I am telling you that stop that one. Think of a new method. And the new method is that there is plenty in the enemy's camp. You need to cross over. There are jobs, that everything you want is in the enemy's camp. You only need to change the method you have been using. The point is, we cannot become what we want by remaining what we are. We can choose to, number one, either go back and die, or stay here and die still, or trust in God, take the risk, move forward, and get plenty in the enemy's camp. Point number 2, which we are saying, is that God's providence is with men who has nothing to lose except their trust in God. I have nothing to lose. And I want to talk to you here as leaders. Pastor, let's have nothing to lose except our trust in God. Somebody said this, that a person with nothing to lose has nothing to fear. Pastor, if I know that, okay, my position as a treasurer, even if I lose it, as long as I trust in God, what will I fear? If you do something wrong, see, I will just tell you, Pastor, hii ni mbaya. But we fear saying some of the things because we have something to lose. I'd rather say that a person with nothing to lose has nothing to fear. Say that only a person who has nothing to lose can take risk in life. And that is the person who comes out as a winner in a fight for survival. Only those who have little or nothing to lose emerge winners in a competition because they don't stand to gain anything by losing. Jesus said this thing. For them it is either do it or die. Jesus said this. I think that one we... Okay, let me find. I think in battery. It is interesting and ironic to note that many a times, those people whom we look to, those people whom you try to make alliances with, those people who threaten you that they have everything, or at least having better than what you are themselves under siege. You know, the guys are sitting at the gate, they are thinking that the people in the camp are doing fine. Those people are under siege. Those people whom you are thinking to, Pastor, they are under siege. Those whom you perceive as living a better life, they are on the greener side of the fence, may be very well struggling themselves. You just don't know. He continued to say that never compete with somebody who has nothing to lose. It is true that if you compete with somebody who has nothing to lose, you are sure to be defeated in the race. Because he will go for it, whether death, whether what. Whether he's losing the position you think, whether he's doing what, he's ready to fight for it. If we say we will enter the city, then the farmer, that one we had said. We are saying that the foremen, according to themselves, they had nothing to lose. They are lepers. They have been thrown out of the camp. They are terminal in their end. They have nothing. If they go, they know that they will die. If they go back, starving. Sitting here, starving. So we have nothing to lose, actually. That is how they took the risk. We are saying this. The greatest risk is not taking risk at all. The greatest risk, I always say that life is made up of risk. You only need, in mathematics, in financial, we talk of calculated risk, a rational risk. You only need to think. I was saying that even saving us, even salvation was a risk. Jesus just said that I'm going to die, whether they will believe in me or not, I shall have died. I always tell treasurers that even electing you as a treasurer is a risk. The constituency did not know whether you steal their money or not, but they just elected you. Yeah, did they know the future? Did they know what you'll do? They just took a risk that what he will do, we don't know, but let's just elect him because that is it. Even you being a pastor, even being a departmental director, who told you that the constituency was sure that you will serve them? They were just taking a risk. They didn't know the future. So life is taking a risk. A question is made up of risk. Let's conclude that one. If we hate stay, we say, this is what I was saying, that Jesus said that if you try to hang on your life, for sure you will lose it. But if you give up your life for my sake, you will save it. And what do you benefit if you gain the whole world but lose your life forever? Guys, my fellow leaders, my fellow church members, my colleagues, we fear making some decisions. We fear taking some actions because we fear losing something. But what will it profit you if you hold on to that which you fear losing today and then lose your life forever? The lepers found not only food. Of course, they were hungry, but they did not only find food. What else did they find? Silver, gold, raiment, and clothing. Why? Because they simply decided to take a step. Their point was hunger, but they didn't know what was waiting for them also in the camp. How I wish that you will be able to trust your life and your future in God. There are those we call unsearchable riches in Christ. Paul talks about them. The last point, and then we close. The last point is that one. Don't miss your responsibility. Don't miss your duty because of greed. Don't miss, Elder. Don't allow, because of greed, to forget your position. Pastor, don't accept it. The church is a house of God, not a private business. But what did the guy say? That is why I was saying that the church is at crossroads. This is a church pastor, of course not in SDA. But don't be surprised, if you do proper search, you may find that it is also. Hey, what do you mean? What do that mean? That the pastor said that we cannot get a baby because we don't take money to church. Huh? Of course, again, this is not our pastor in SDA Church. But are they not happening? This one is even the worst. Please pray for me. Why? But I don't have money, please. You want me to talk to God without money? And no money, no prayer. For you, go outside. Nonsense. You want to collapse my business. Have churches been turned to be businesses? A small search is done. Somebody did a small research on university students. University students here in Kenya. please. And this is what one of the students says. Mahoro says that churches have turned into businesses. One thing churches have mastered in their knowledge is that people yearn for miracles. So they use this as a weapon to get money from them by promising them heaven on earth. I think this is not true, and this is not right in the eyes of God. This is a student. I'm just picking a portion and I'm putting here. Is this not what is happening? Could it be that I am also greedy because of my position? Could it be that a pastor somewhere or you somewhere, you are also greedy because of the position you are holding? Another student says like this, Rogers. Rogers said that no, I would generalize because some are honest to their followers and they don't, and they do their ministry work efficiently. However, some churches have it first hand that they are after money. They even have VIP seats for those who have fat ovatories. Yet all people are supposed to be equals in the eyes of God. If this isn't business, then I don't know what it is. Okay, another student says, Pastor, you are the chaplaincy director. Today's churches have lost track of what they actually have to do, which is spiritual guidance. They instead aim at milking their members dry so that they get what they want. However, some churches, especially the Catholic ones, are still right. I'm just picking somebody's statement. Don't say that I'm talking about Catholics. Some churches are actually determined to spread the word of God. However, they tend to mix it with the love of money. And this is impossible. It creates inequality in one way or another. No one can serve two masters at a go. You choose God or money, and some churches choose the latter one. So they would say I would say today's churches are somewhat after money. These are students talking. What we are trying to address here is that don't lose your responsibility because of greed. Don't allow it. Don't allow it. Why is the mission of the church becoming a lost subject in Christianity today? Why? We were talking yesterday. Could it be that wrong evangelistic strategy of you come rather than we go? Could it be that getting my needs rather than getting the lost? Could it be a lost focus of making disciples, that we have lost the focus is making disciples who will thus be equipped and motivated to reach the lost? Could it be that there is fear to share the truth of the gospel which will offend others? Or could it be that there is what we call political correctness in every place? Could it be that there are too many activities in the local churches, and so churches just say, we are busy, we are busy, we are busy. Church members, we are busy, we are busy. Why is the mission of the church becoming a lost subject? It could be because of greed, I guess. I guess that it could be because of greed. Or could it be that churches have been turned into family business entities which are determined to financially drain members? We as leaders, when we sit, do we ask ourselves these questions? What could it be? Why is it that it's an issue? This is a reverend. He said that the enrichment of church leaders at the expense of their followers is a characteristic of a number of charismatic church pastors being rich at the expense of their church members. I don't know, when he says charismatic church pastors, I don't know whether I fit in or you fit in at that point. This one I picked, we were with Pastor Nicodemus, we sat next to you, when the preacher said that the very definition of corruption is Christianity without Christ-like character. Did he say when we were sitting next to you? And I picked this one from his, the very definition of corruption. So when we see people being taken, CSS being taken, we think that they are corrupt. We see newspapers. This is what he was saying. The very definition of corruption is Christianity without Christ-like character. I know that person is a friend to Jared. Jared, listen to him singing so much. Greed opens the door for all kinds of sin, and we find ourselves falling further from God and what he has in our lives. But we must be careful to protect our hearts and our minds against greed. Let's practice contentment. Robert, in 1960, explained that the motivation of leaders, of course I will put church leaders, but the motivation of leaders must begin with a calling and a conscious choice to be of service to the needs of others. They must take precedence over aspiration to lead them. Luke 15 says that, then he said, beware. Guard against every kind of greed. Life is not measured on how much you own. Proverbs say that those who oppress the poor and insult the maker, but helping the poor honors him. Could it be that you are also, because of what you have, because of the blessing God has given us, we are greedy? Could it be? Isaiah says it. In fact, when I read Isaiah, it was painful to me, because he's talking of watchmen. And what is he saying about watchmen? He's saying that his watchmen, which could be you and me, his watchmen are all ignorant. They are all dumb dogs. They cannot bark, sleeping, lying down, loving to slumber. Verse 11. Yes, they are greedy dogs, which never have enough. And they are shepherds who cannot understand. They all look to their own ways, everyone for his own gain, for his own territory. Come, one says, I will bring wine and we will fill ourselves with intoxicated dark. Tomorrow will be as today. Could it be that we are falling in that kind of? And Peter says that they commit adulteries with their own eyes, and their desire for sin is never satisfied. They are unstable people into sin, and they are well trained in greed. They live under God's curse. They have wandered off the right road and followed the footsteps of Balaam. I'm just addressing that when God gives us opportunity, when God blesses you, don't be greedy. That's what we are talking about. Verse 9 was saying that finally they said to one another that this is not right. Guys, the day is a day of good news. I will also say, like they said it, that this is not right. What the church leaders, what church pastors, and I'm generalizing church pastors, I said it not, those pictures we have seen, is not right. We are doing wrong. Say, don't delay in doing what is right. The city, I may say the Kisumu city, if I was to put it in the context. The city is starving, and we are feasting. They are eating each other. What we are doing, we must go back and tell them. And if we are to go, we must go before it is too late. Otherwise, punishment will come upon us. It says that for God did not spare even the angels who sinned. So he will not spare even the pastors who sinned. He will not spare even the treasurers who are sinning, even the departmental directors who are sinning. By the way, even the secretaries who are sinning. He will not spare them. For he threw them into hell in gloom pits of darkness, where they are being held until the day of judgment. I want to close by saying that let's consider, number one, that when we trust in God, when we get out from negativity, when we refuse our comfort zones and move out of it, God will stand with you. God will stand with us. And our enemies will fly away. You will have the backing of heaven. And God will make you much better than you are today. God bless us in Jesus' name.